Preview. Preview. Preview.
Oh dear.
Your car, please.
Operator, I've been dialing Moray Hill 40098 now for the last 3 quarters of an hour, and the line is always busy, but I don't see how it could be busy that long. Will you try it for me, please?
Murray Hill, 40098. One moment, please.
I don't see how it could be busy all the time. It's my husband's office. He's working late tonight and I'm all alone here in the house. My health is very poor and I've been feeling so nervous all day.
Ringing Murray Hill, 40098.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello? George? Yes, sir.
Hello? Who's this? What number am I calling, please?
We have heard from our client. He says the coast is clear for tonight. Yes, sir. Where are you now?
In a booth.
Okay. You know the address. At 11 o'clock, the private patrolman goes around to the bar on 2nd Avenue for a beer. Be sure that all the lights downstairs are out. There should be only one light visible from the street. At 11:15, a subway train crosses the bridge. It makes a noise in case her window is open and she should scream.
Oh, hello? What number is this, please?
Okay, I understand.
Make it quick. As little blood as possible. Our client does not wish to make her suffer long.
A knife? Okay, sir.
Yes, a knife will be okay. And remember, remove the rings and bracelets and the jewelry in the bureau drawer. Our client wishes it to look like simple robbery.
Okay, I get.
How awful! How unspeakably awful!
Preview. Preview. Preview.
Your call, please.
Operator, I've just been cut off.
I'm sorry, madam. What you're calling, please?
Why? It was supposed to be Moray Hill 40098, but it wasn't. Some wires must have crossed. I was caught in a wrong number, and I've just heard the most dreadful thing. A murder! And, operator, you'll simply have to retrieve the call at once.
I beg your pardon, madam. I don't quite.
Oh, I know it was the wrong number. I had no business listening, but these two men, they were cold-blooded fiends. Some poor innocent women who was all alone in a house near a bridge. And we've got to stop them. We've got to.
What number were you calling, madam?
That doesn't matter. This was a wrong number, and you dialed it, and we've got to find out what it was immediately.
But, madam,
Oh, why are you so stupid? Look, it was obviously a case of some little slip of the finger. I told you to try Moray Hill 40098 for me. You dialed it, but your finger must have slipped, and I was connected with some other number, and I could hear them, but they couldn't hear me. Now, I'm simply failed to see why you couldn't make the same mistake again, on purpose. Why you couldn't try to dial Moray Hill 40098 in the same careless sort of way.
Moray Hill 40098?
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Moray Hill 40098?
Operator? Operator?
Yes, madam.
You didn't try to get the wrong number at all. I asked explicitly, and all you did was dial correctly.
I am sorry. What number were you calling?
Can't you, for once, forget what number I was calling and do something specific? Now, I want to trace that call. It's my civic duty. It's your civic duty to trace that call and to apprehend those dangerous killers. And if you want,
I will connect you with the chief operator.
please.
This is the chip operator.
Oh, chief operator, I want you to trace a telephone call immediately. I don't know where it came from or who was making it, but absolutely it's necessary that it can be tracked down because it was about murder. Yes, a terrible, cold-blooded murder for a poor woman tonight at 11:15.
I see.
Can you trace it for me? Can you track down those men?
It depends, ma'am.
Depends on what?
It depends on whether the call is still going on. If it's a live call, we can trace it on the equipment. If it's been disconnected, we can't.
Disconnected.
If the parties stop talking to each other,
Oh, but of course they have must stop talking to each other by now. That was at least 5 minutes ago, and they didn't sound like the type who would make a long call.
well, I can try tracing it. Now, what is your name, madam?
Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Albert Stevenson. But listen,
And your telephone number?
plus a 42295. But if you go on wasting all this time,
And what is your reason for wanting this call traced?
my reason, well, for heaven's sake, isn't it obvious? I overheard two men, they're killers. They're planning to murder this woman. It's a matter for the police.
Have you told the police?
No, how could I?
You're making this check into a private call purely as a private individual.
Yes, but meanwhile,
Well, Mrs. Stevenson, I seriously doubt whether we could make this check for you at this time. Just on your say-so as a private individual, we have to have something more official.
oh, for heaven's sake, you mean to tell me I can't report a murder without getting tied up on all this red tape? Why, it's perfectly idiotic. Alright then, I will call the police. Ridiculous. Your call, please. The police department, please. Ringing the police department.
Police Department, Sergeant Duffy speaking.
A police department? Oh, this is Mrs. Stevenson. Mrs. Albert Stevenson of 53 North Student Place. I am calling to report a murder. Eh? I mean, the murder hasn't been committed yet. I just overheard plans for it over the telephone, over wrong number that the operator gave me. I've been trying to trace down the call myself, but everybody is so stupid, and I guess in the end, you're the only people who could do anything.
Yes, ma'am.
It was a perfectly definite murder. I heard their plans distinctly. Two men were talking and they were going to murder some woman at 11:15 tonight. She lived in a house near a bridge.
Yes, ma'am.
And there was a private patrolman in the street. He was going to go around for the beer for a Second Avenue, and there was a third man, a client who was paying to have this poor woman murdered. They were going to take her rings and bracelets and use a knife. Well, it's unnerved me dreadfully, and I'm not well.
I see. When was all this, ma'am?
About 8 minutes ago. Oh, then you can do something? You do understand?
And what's your name, ma'am?
Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Albert Stevenson,
And what was the number you were calling?
53 North Sudan Place. That's near a bridge, the Queensboro Bridge, and we have a private patrolman on our street and Second Avenue.
And what was the number you were calling?
Moray Hill 40098, but that wasn't the number I overheard. I mean, Moray Hill 40098 is my husband's office. He's working late tonight, and I was trying to reach him to ask him to come home. I'm an invalid, and it's midnight off, and I hate to be alone. Even though he says I'm perfectly safe as long as I have the telephone right beside my bed.
Well, we'll look into it, Miss Stevenson, and see if we can check it with the telephone company. How do you know it wasn't a long-distance call you overheard? Telephones are funny things. Look, lady, why don't you look at it this way? Supposing you hadn't broken in on that telephone call. Supposing you've got your husband the way you always do. Would this murder have made any difference to you, then?
Oh, I suppose not. But it's so inhuman, so cold-blooded.
A lot of murders is committed in this city every day, ma'am. If we could do something to stop him, we would. But a clue of this kind that's so vague isn't much more use to us than no clue at all.
But surely,
Unless, of course, you have some reason for thinking this call is phony, and that someone may be planning to murder you.
me? Oh no, I hardly think so. I mean, why should anybody? I'm all alone day and night. I see nobody except my maid Eloise. She's a big 200-pounder. She's too lazy to bring out my breakfast tray, and the only other person is my husband Albert. He is crazy about me, adores me, waits on me hand and foot. He's scarcely left my side since I took sick 12 years ago.
Well then, there's nothing for you to worry about, is there? And now, if you just leave the rest to us.
But what will you do? It's so late. It's nearly 11 o'clock.
Well, take care of it, lady.
Will you broadcast it over the city and send out a squad and warn your radio cars to watch out, especially in suspicious neighborhoods like mine?
Lady, I said we'll take care of it. Just now I've got a couple of other matters here on my desk that require my immediate.
Oh, idiot. Now, why did I do that? Now he'll think I'm a fool. Oh, why doesn't Albert come home? Why doesn't he? Now, why did I do that? Now he'll think I'm a fool. Oh, why doesn't Albert come home? Why doesn't he?
Your call, please.
Operator, for heaven's sake, will you ring that Murray Hill 4009 again? I can't think what's keeping him so long.
Ringing Murray Hill 4008. The line is busy. Shall I?
I can't hear it. You don't have to tell me. I know it's busy. Oh no! If I could only get out of this bed for a little while, if I could get a breath of fresh air, or just lean out the window and see the street.
Your call, please.
Hello, operator. I don't know what's the matter with this telephone tonight, but it's possibly driving me crazy. I've never seen such inefficient, miserable service. Now look, I'm an invalid, and I'm very nervous. I am not supposed to be annoyed, but if this keeps so much longer...
What seems to be the trouble, madam?
Well, everything is wrong. The whole world could be boarded, or for all of you care. And now my phone keeps ringing.
Yes, madam.
Ringing and ringing and ringing every 5 seconds and so. And when I pick it up, there's no one there.
I am afraid that is not possible, madam.
Not possible. And why, may I ask?
The system is automatic, madam. If someone is trying to dial a number, there is no way to check whether the call is coming through the system or not, unless the person who is trying to reach you complains to this particular operator.
Well, of all this stupid, complicated, and meanwhile I've got to sit here in my bed, suffering every time that phone rings, imagining everything.
I will try to check it for you, madam.
Check it! Check it! That's all anybody can do! Of all this stupid, idiotic... Oh, oh, what's the use? Hello? Hello! Stop ringing! Do you hear me? Answer me! What do you want? Do you realize you're driving me crazy?
Hello? Is this Plaza 42295?
Yes, yes. This is Plaza 42295.
This is Western Union. I have a telegram here for Mrs. Albert Stevenson. Is there anyone there to receive the message?
I am Mrs. Stevenson.
Is as follow. Mrs. Albert Stevenson, 53 North Sutton Place, New York, New York. Darling, terribly sorry. Tried to get your for last hour but line busy. Leaving for Boston 11 p.m. tonight on urgent business. Back tomorrow afternoon. Keep happy. Love sign Albert.
Oh, oh, no!
That is all, madam. Do you wish us to deliver a copy of the message?
No, no, thank you.
I do not know, madam. You may find out the time by dialing Meridian 71212.
No, no, it isn't true. He couldn't do it. Not when he knows I'll be all alone. It's some trick, some business.
Preview. Preview. Preview.
Your call, please.
Operator, try that Murray Hill 40098 number for me just once more again, please.
Ringing Murray Hill 4008.
He's gone. Oh, Albert. How could you? How could you?
Preview. Preview. Preview.
This is information.
I want the telephone number of Henschler Hospital.
Hensley Hospital? Do you have the address, madam?
No, it's somewhere in the 70s, though it's a very small, private and exclusive hospital where I had my appendix out 2 years ago. Henschley, Henchleey.
One moment, please.
Please, Harry, and please, what is the time?
I do not know, madam. You may find out the time by dialing Meridian 71212.
Oh, for heaven's sake, couldn't you?
The number of Hensley Hospital is Butterfield 70105, madam.
Butterfield 70105.
Hensley Hospital, good evening.
Nurses Registry.
The number of Hensley Hospital is Butterfield 70105, madam.
I want the nurses registry at once. I want a trained nurse. I want to hire her immediately for the night.
I see. And what is the nature of the case, madam?
Nerves, and I'm very nervous. I need soothing and companionship. My husband is away, and
Have you been recommended to us by any doctor in particular, madam?
no, but I really don't see why all this catechizing is necessary. I want a trained nurse. I was patient in your hospital 2 years ago, and after all, I do expect to pay this person.
Quite understand that, madam. But registrars nurses are very scarce just now, and our superintendent has us to assign people out only cases where the physician is in charge feels absolutely necessary.
Well, it is absolutely necessary. I'm a sick woman. I'm very upset. Very. I'm all alone in this house and I'm invalid, and tonight I overheard a telephone conversation that upset me dreadfully about a murder. A poor woman who was going to murder at 11:15 tonight. In fact, if someone doesn't come at once, I'm afraid I'll go out of my mind.
I see. Well, I'll speak to Miss Phillips as soon as she comes in. And what's your name, madam?
Miss Phillips, and when do you expect her in?
I really don't know, madam. She went out to supper at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock? But it's not 11 yet. Oh, my clock has stopped. I thought it was running down. What time is it?
It's 14 minutes past 11.
What's that?
It was wet, madam.
That clicked just by now in my own telephone, as though someone had lifted the receiver of the hook of the extension phone downstairs.
I didn't hear it, madam. Now, about this.
But I did. There's someone in this house, someone downstairs in the kitchen, and they're listening to me now. There! I won't pick it up. I won't let them hear me. I'll be quiet, and they'll think. But if I don't call someone now, while they're still down there, there'll be no time.
Your call, please.
Operator, I'm in desperate trouble. I
cannot hear you, madam. Please speak louder.
I don't dare. There's someone listening. Can you hear me now?
Your call, please. What number are you calling, madam?
You've got to hear me. Oh, please. You've got to help me. There's someone in this house. Someone who's going to bother me. And you've got to get in touch with...
Thank you, madam. Good night.
Department President 43 Duffy speaking. Police Department. Oh, police station. I'm sorry. Wrong number.